The first time I tried to use Ableton Live for worship, I spent almost an entire week trying to build out my first set list. I was new to using a click in tracks in worship, and I decided I wanted to use Ableton Live because it offers the greatest power and flexibility of all the software options available. My journey of learning Ableton was a tough and a long one. I'm even a tech savvy guy. Give me a problem related to just about any topic and I can quickly figure out a solution. But learning Ableton Live for the first time was incredibly difficult, and I almost gave up. I almost decided to can the whole idea of using a click in tracks in worship. I almost resorted to using an iPad app to run tracks, and I missed out on the advanced features of Ableton Live. But I was determined and I stuck with it. Over the past few years, I've developed an Ableton workflow that only takes me an hour or two of prep a week and has dramatically improved the quality of my worship ministry. I believe any worship leader with the right guidance can learn how to use Ableton Live for worship. Maybe you're considering whether or not Ableton is right for you. In this video, I want to share some tips to help you have the right expectations on what it takes to implement this powerful software in your worship ministry. In a few minutes, you'll know if Ableton Live is right for you. I will also tell you about a cool opportunity to help you learn Ableton Live for worship the quickest and easiest way possible. My name is Jake Goslin with churchfront.com, an online resource for innovative and creative church leaders. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can receive all of our latest content to help you grow yourself and grow your church. And make sure you also check out the show notes in the description below for quick links to related videos and free resources for your ministry. Question of the day: do you use Ableton Live in worship? If not, do you want to learn how to use Ableton Live in worship? Let me know below in the comments. First, I want to talk about why Ableton Live can be a challenge to learn. There are 3 reasons. Number 1, it's more than just a worship leading software. Ableton Live is built for a variety of musical applications. It's uniquely designed to be an instrument for live performance, but it can also be used for composing, recording, arranging, mixing, and mastering. The advantage of Ableton's wide variety of usage means that it's a well-resourced and developed software. Ableton, the company, is huge, and their software is arguably the most reliable for playing back audio in a live context. The downside is you must develop a unique workflow that is best suited for worship leading. Unfortunately, a lot of worship leaders don't take the time to learn what workflow is best for their ministry, and consequently, they give up on using the software altogether. Reason number 2 why Ableton's difficult to learn: it's incredibly powerful and flexible. So that's actually a really good thing, but unfortunately, that can make it a challenge to learn. Ableton has the most flexibility in playing back audio files and MIDI in a live performance setting. You can program it for just about any conceivable situation or purpose that you need in your ministry. The downside of Ableton's advanced features is that it can simply cause overwhelm for the untrained user. There may be multiple ways to accomplish the same task in Ableton, but it can be tough knowing which is best for a worship band. Reason number 3 why Ableton Live can be challenging: the user interface is not intuitive. When I first opened Ableton Live, I felt like I was looking at the cockpit of a commercial jetliner. There's so many cool buttons and parameters, but I had no clue what they did. That's what a lot of people feel like the first time they open Ableton Live. To be honest, it's not super intuitive at first, but with clear instruction on how the user interface works, you can learn all you need to know for a worship setting in no time. So now I want to transition to talking about the type of worship leader for whom I think Ableton Live is a great fit. While I believe any worship leader can learn how to use the software, I don't think it's the best fit for everyone. Here are 5 things I think every worship leader must have in order for Ableton Live to be a good fit for their ministry. Number 1, a desire for advanced control of tracks and production automation. If you do not care about the specific benefits of learning Ableton, such as the advanced control of your backing tracks and the ability to automate lyrics, video, and lighting in worship, then Ableton is probably not a good fit for you. There are much simpler apps you can use like Prime or Playback, but with their simplicity comes certain limitations. You should only learn how to use Ableton if you desire those advanced features that it offers. The second thing every worship leader needs is a couple hours a week available for prep time. It takes a few hours each week to adequately prepare your Ableton Live set list. Depending on your experience with Ableton and how just proficient you are with the software, it could take you 3 hours or it could take you less than 1 hour. That includes the time to program production elements like your lighting or your presentation software. In my opinion, the reward for this weekly time investment is totally worth it. But if there is no way for you to add a couple hours of prep to worship planning, then Ableton is probably not for you. The third thing you need is a willingness to learn. Like all advanced technical skills, Ableton takes time and persistence to learn. But with the right training, you can get up and running in just a few hours. But you have to be patient with yourself and be willing to even just put a few hours into learning the software and memorizing how you're going to use it in a worship setting. The fourth thing you need is supportive church leadership. Ableton Live is a significant investment for any worship ministry. If you are using Ableton primarily for your church's worship ministry, then your church should be the one purchasing the software and any other peripheral hardware and or training to support it. Often, this will require a conversation with your pastor and other church leaders. You'll need to sell them on the benefits of using Ableton Live. They need to be supportive of you investing into the software and building a library of backing tracks. And then the fifth and final thing you need is in-ear monitoring. The one major equipment hurdle for a lot of churches to use Ableton Live is making sure that you have in-ear monitoring in place. Your band must have in-ears because you're going to be playing with a click track. If you have those 5 things in place, you are ready to implement Ableton Live in your worship ministry. If you have any other questions regarding whether or not you should use Ableton Live, leave it below in the comments. To get started with Ableton Live, download my Lead Worship with Ableton Toolkit. It's a document containing a list of my recommended gear to get up and running with the software. It also includes links and pricing to everything listed so you know how much to budget for your Ableton setup. On May 1st, 2018, I'll be releasing my training, Lead Worship with Ableton, to the public. It's a step-by-step guide for non-techie worship leaders who want to become experts at Ableton. We just wrapped up our beta launch of the course, in which I had 67 worship leaders from all over the world enroll, and it has been incredible. So many worship leaders are overcoming these challenges and barriers that they had to learning and applying Ableton Live to their ministry context. To ensure that you hear about the course's release, make sure you do download my Lead Worship with Ableton Toolkit, and that will automatically place you on the wait list for the course launch. If you're watching this video years into the future, I'll make sure there are still relevant links below to point you where you need to go to sign up for the course. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit the thumbs up button and share this video with your friends in ministry. You can check out some related videos by clicking right over here and subscribe to the Churchfront channel and hit the notification bell so you can receive all of our latest content to help you grow yourself and grow your church.